And so version 14.4.0 is finally here, and in this video we're going to be going through everything that did come out into the game today, just small quality of life updates, but there is actually a Datamined skill that might potentially be coming out this end of month, so we'll talk about that at the end, so make sure you stick around. So first up, we have a new display on summons, and it's going to be very good for those that have multiple accounts, and this will show you if you own a character or not. This is more so just a tool at a quick glance if you own certain characters. Maybe you forgot if you own a character or not. Again, especially if you are someone that has multiple accounts, like myself, for example, sometimes I forget what account has what character. And there have been times, literally in the most recent 2 weeks or so, where I pulled a character, got kind of excited, and I remembered, oh, I already have them. And in this case, you can see right here, it's going to indicate if you have the character or not. There are 3 statuses to know what character you have. The badges will be there to show if you've already previously leveled up the character to max level. Owned will mean that you have the character, and not owned, of course, will mean you don't have the character. Now, to actually see that, you're going to want to go to the banner, scroll down to the character pool, and then scroll down once more to look at the featured characters, and this is where it will say if you have the characters. So you do have to kind of do some looking into this. You're not going to be able to tell right from the get-go, but it's always worth checking out again. In case you aren't aware of what the status mean, it does say it right here. So in this case, on my old account, as I can see, I currently own Retsu. She has been fully leveled, and I know at least at this point that I don't own any other character in the banner. So that's nice to know. And also importantly, we'll be summoning later today, so make sure to subscribe for that. The next one, and it's very similar to what we just talked about. In this case, the owned characters displayed will now be in packs. So this is more so just to show you if you own the character, not before you actually buy the character pack. Because the worst thing you could do is buy a character pack to max out a character, and turns out you already have the character. I don't think anyone is doing that, but it's nice to know now just by looking at the pack. So if you do go to the character pack screen, you can see here that in this case, I pretty much own most of these characters, but in Yukio's case, I don't own him. And same goes for these other characters like 1000 Year Blood War. So if I was looking to spend money in this game and I was looking to buy these character packs, of course, that means I would pick up the ones that I currently don't own, like these 1000 Year Blood War characters, for example. The next change was adjustments to the skip button in summons. Previously, if you press the skip button, it would skip the entire summon. And in case you did get a new 5-star in that particular summon, it would rob you of enjoying the first initial voice line. This change now makes it so if you do press the skip button and there is a 5-star that you've never pulled before, it will show that voice line, so you still get to experience the moment of pulling a new particular character. Again, a very small change, but definitely a welcomed one. I've been there in the past, mainly on the 7th anniversary. I was doing some desperate summons. I did a multi, skipped it, and saw 7th anniversary Uryu. It was hype in and of itself. I, of course, was happy to finally have the character, but I was robbed of seeing the initial summon quote. And just to quickly demonstrate that, what we can see here, if we press the summon screen, let's do a quick summon right here. One change they do make is that if I tap this screen right now, it's actually going to show the summon quote. Previously, if you tapped it leading up to the animation, it would just outright show the character you do get, skipping the initial summon quote. This is going to be good for those that see a fake out animation and forget that maybe fake out exists. Maybe you think it's a 4-star animation, but by tapping the screen, it's going to skip the animation and just jump straight to the summon quote, whether it's a 4 or 5-star character. Again, the main point of this is just to make sure you don't get robbed of seeing that initial summon quote, so this is actually a pretty nice change. And I guess quickly demonstrating that, let's use 100 Brave Soul summon tickets. Again, example here, we're going to skip it. And there we go, we jumped straight to our 5-star. In this case, I believe this is a Kisuke. No, it's the new Oko. That's actually not too bad. So if we do press the skip button here, it's going to jump to our next 5-star. But since we did do 100 summon tickets, our next 5-star will literally appear right away. But press skip. And I guess in that case, we actually didn't get a second 5-star. So let's try it again. I guess we're using 200 more tickets here. So in this case, we know it's a 5-star. Let's just skip it. Go straight to the summon screen. We're getting our lad Hachigun. Okay, let's tap through. And then if we press skip, there we go, we go to our next 5-star. And I guess it does look like maybe it's different in the actual summon banner, but it doesn't just show new 5-stars. It's going to show a 5-star regardless if they are new or not. So not too bad. And the next change is returning from notices. This is a very small change, but definitely nice because now we actually have a back button. As you can see in the top left, if we press back, it takes us to the previous page. This is just going to be useful when it comes to cycling through the campaigns and maybe even the summon screen, for example. Like now we're on the Kenpachi lineage. Let's say we want to click the character pool and we just want to check if we own a character or not. And then now we can just press the back button and boom, we're back on the same page. Moving on though, we did have a little issue fixed with Barragan, the Tyrant Aspiration version, where some of its effects weren't being shown as intended. Personally never experienced that, but I guess it's nice to know that's fixed. Some small miscellaneous changes. I'm not sure if this is always here, but I believe the banners now show at the bottom bottom, we can see the Kenpachi lineages here. That might not be entirely too new, but there also is a new banner icon for Tapjoy. One small update mainly to Chronicle Quest. In the February special offers, it was added this morning. ×2 Fragment is back. This is basically a monthly occurrence right now. It's going to be available from right now, starting this morning, all the way till the 28th. So if you are someone that wants to farm Chronicle Quest, finish it up this month, now would be a good time to do so. This, again, is a monthly occurrence at this point, so always expect it to happen sometime near the end of the month. Even in a situation like this where it isn't announced beforehand, they usually like to throw it in last minute. I recommend farming enough so you don't have to touch Chronicle Quest for a couple months. I haven't touched Chronicle Quest for like 2 or so months now, but I've still been able to buy the items that I need, all because I farmed during 1 week. So definitely take advantage of that and farm those fragments. And lastly, there unfortunately are being changes to the App Store prices. Due to tax changes, Apple changed the prices, and unfortunately every game has to kind of follow suit. I was actually expecting this. If you played a couple gacha games, you would have seen the prices unfortunately get increased here, and this is only going to affect players in Colombia, Norway, South Africa, United Kingdom, and Uzbekistan. This change has already made the prices probably went up around 10 or so %. Kind of unfortunate that things are getting more expensive, but you know, it's the world right now, right? I believe the most expensive pack for me went from £60 to £70, so that is kind of unfortunate. And lastly, the new thing to talk about is a new skill potentially coming out this upcoming end of month. And shout out to Hiken for this one, but in this case, we have one thing in regards to vortexes. Not really sure what's going on there, so let's just ignore that for now, but all eyes are going to be on the bottom part. A new skill. In this case, it says block start party call time reduce rate. A new skill similar to team party stamina recovery. So this is just my take from why I'm reading here, but this potentially looks to be a new party skill that every time you move into another room, it's actually going to potentially reduce your party's cooldown. And if that's the case, that's actually a pretty good skill. So let's say, for example, every time you move into the map, I'm just making up a random number here, it's going to reduce your party's cooldown of their strong attacks by 30%. So for example, if you just use your SA3 to clear that final wave, you don't have to wait 10 or so seconds. If someone has that skill, you move into the next room, it's now going down to 7 seconds. So your SAs are potentially come back a tad bit faster. And if that is the case, again, we don't know the exact numbers of how much it's going to reduce when it comes to this particular skill, but that's going to be really good for just autoing content, especially in point events, for example. Safwi Reggie, for example, who kind of just reran this morning, she's a really good autoer, and if you could potentially reduce her cooldown even more, it pretty much guarantees that whenever she moves into the next wave, she's going to have her strong attacks back instantly. But even in co-op content, this is going to be very useful for IT. It's going to allow your strong attacks to come back a tad bit faster, and that goes for your entire team. So it's a small skill, but definitely a welcomed one. I would actually like that for most characters to have it, and it should definitely speed up the runs just by a tad bit. So if you are potentially in a lobby with a character that does have this skill, make sure to use that SA3 before the final wave, because now it's going to come back a tad bit faster. But again, we have to wait and see exactly how this skill is going to pan out, potentially this end of month, and how good it could potentially be, because as of right now, we don't know any numbers, so all we have to do is wait. But with that said, lads, that was basically the breakdown for version 14.4.0, the update for the month of February. Definitely looking forward to see what we're going to get next month. Hopefully that change in regards to certain drop rates in certain quests and maybe even Cons Bonanza that was mentioned on the Banker livestream. So I'm definitely expecting those updates to get mentioned either this upcoming end of month on the developer comments or released within the next month or two. But we'll see. Anyway, hope you lads enjoyed the video. I'll see you lads next time. Take care and peace.